and welcome to Feels Like Magic, the podcast where you will get the grounded self-development wisdom you might need to feel amazing about the person you authentically are. I'm Jo, a transformational coach, speaker, and author, and for decades I was so stuck in self-criticism that I never thought I would feel good about being me. Now I inhabit a new reality, one where I care way less about what other people think. I'm willing to show up as the person that I am, and I deepen into self-love and acceptance every single day. Honestly, it feels like magic. Each week, I'll share scientifically proven tools, things I've learned from the world's best coaches, and personal stories I know you'll relate to. Ready? Let's dive in. Hello, darling. How are you doing out there? I am getting ready to go home for Christmas for a week and also just winding down a little bit. And winding down is something I really struggle with. I tend to get to this time of year and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's almost Christmas. And so a promise I'm making to myself is to just bring in a little more spaciousness next year. And planning and structure will probably be the things that help me most with that. Because I think when you plan and you have clear structure, spaciousness comes. But I have one final offering this year, which I am just so excited about, and it is Reflexive Magic. It's on Sunday, if you're listening live, Sunday the 15th of December at 4 p.m. UK time. And this is a really beautiful ritual to do, whether you come live or you get the replay, to really look at your whole year and to look at the things that have happened, the things that you didn't expect, the things that you're happy about, the things that you're resistant to, and just look at all of it and really get to the point of, this is what I am not bringing in to 2025. We do a beautiful ritual, and we also get a cord cutting meditation and a workbook to dive even deeper on the themes of the workshop, as well as a really beautiful playlist that we will journal to. So it is a gorgeous ritual. If you can make it, I would love to see you there. And if you want to grab the replay, I will be linking it in my show notes. Hey. All right, my love. So let's talk about what I've got for you today. I hummed and hawed over this episode, and I decided that I didn't want to delve into anything too deep because there's a lot of information in the world. And sometimes we just need to hear something twice, or we need to hear something said in a slightly different way, or we need to hear something from somebody else. And so what I have for you this week is 5 reminders that I'm really giving myself and you. And they really are to support your happiness, your health, your overall vitality and radiance, and really just how much joy you can access in your life. So without further ado, let's go into them. So my first reminder for you, and I think it's so important, particularly in this time of year, is to get into your body. I know for me, now I'm in Lisbon and it's a lot warmer, but when I was in Scotland, every winter, my body would kind of like seize up a little. And there's a couple of things with that. It's the cold, but it's also like the end of the year and really being a little burnt out or really feeling like a little depleted. And so get into your body every single day. And that can be as simple as really giving yourself a big hug and then squeezing down your arms. It can be just shaking out all the energy in your body. It can be dance. It can be embodiment. It can be movement. It can be taking a cold shower. It can be anything that helps you to feel more connected to your body. And this is something that's so important because we live so much in our heads, but our bodies actually hold so much wisdom. So really getting into your body, asking your body what it needs, and whether that is to lie on the floor or to dance vigorously to a song, listening to that and giving your body the chance to express and giving any emotions that are there as well a chance to express. So when I talk about embodiment, it's really about giving your body the chance to embody whatever energy is here. So if there's frustration, if there's anger, if there's sadness, really getting yourself into the space where you can express that. So get into the body, for 1 or 2 minutes a day, it honestly makes a huge difference. And if you have longer, of course, longer, but short, sharp bursts of this will really just help bring your nervous system back to regulation and will help you feel more connected to yourself, particularly when there might be a lot going on. Now, as a single woman, I actually don't relate that much to the narrative of there's so much to do at Christmas. Because I don't have loads and loads of people to buy presents for. Everything is pretty straightforward in my family. So I don't have the responsibilities perhaps that other people have. And I just want to put that out there because I feel sometimes that that's all anyone ever talks about. But it is possible to not experience that. And it's also impossible to put down boundaries. So, for example, if you are in a space where you have lots of obligations this holiday, you have lots of things that you've committed to, but you actually don't want to go to, it's really something you can do is renegotiate your commitments and really, say, actually, I was going to come for the day, but I'm going to come for an afternoon. Okay, great. Like, conserve your energy. And again, when we're listening to the body, this is an important piece. It also brings me on to the second thing that I want to remind you of, which is the power of rest. And, nature is going into hibernation right now in this side of the world. And it really is a time to deeply rest. And I would love you to just look at any stories you have around that. It is okay to say no to things so that you can prioritize yourself. You don't need to qualify that. You can say no because you're looking after your energy. So I want you to know that as well. Like, really prioritize rest and prioritize a sense of, as I was talking about at the beginning, like a sense of spaciousness for yourself. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Resting is pretty straightforward. You all know what it is. But really, it can be the time to just do the essential things and nothing else. And of course, when you're a perfectionist and you're a high achiever and all of these things, that can feel really counterintuitive. But know by resting, you are going to have your most generative energy. When you're just going and going and going, you become burnt out. And there's really dilutes your life force energy. My third reminder is, well, it's actually kind of 2 for 1. You've come so much further than you think you have, and stop comparing. So the stop comparing part is really, really important. At this time of year, so many of us feel like other people have it all sorted out, and we start telling stories about how everyone else is doing great and we haven't done enough. And I promise you, and this is why I love the workshop that I run so much, I promise you that if you look back on this year, you really will see that you've come further than you have given yourself credit for. You've dealt with life, you've dealt with the curveballs, you've dealt with the less than ideals, you've dealt with things. And I'm sure that there have also been beautiful moments in that time. So I really want you to know that you have come further than you think. And one of the most toxic things that we can do to ourselves is to compare, is to look at other people and say that we're not good enough because they've done X, Y, and Z. And I know, like, it was such a habit of mine to do this. And now I'm so on it. I only follow people on socials that really light me up. I really take care of my energy around comparison and try and stay in my own lane, because that is the lane in which I can make an impact. That is the lane in which I get all of the beautiful things. Whenever I'm in someone else's lane, I'm in sort of graspy, horrible, jealous energy, and that doesn't feel good. So make a decision to stop comparing yourself to that stranger on the internet or that friend at a party or someone you knew 20 years ago. Make a decision to acknowledge yourself, and your unique journey and your unique path. And then finally, my love, I want to remind you that this time of year can be about joy and delight and pleasure. You can access these things in really micro ways in the moment. So, for example, something that brings me so much joy is being out with my dog and watching her play without my phone. It just brings me so much joy, and just standing in the street and soaking up the sunshine, it's just absolutely beautiful. Also, when we don't have our phones, we're so much more open to seeing the beauty. So maybe it's the snow and the way it hangs on the trees, or maybe it's some kind of pattern. But we get to expand ourselves and expand our experience when we are really in joy, delight, and pleasure. And we get to come from, how can I create more joy? How can I create more delight? How can I create more pleasure? What could I do to bring in to this situation that feels like it would be pleasurable for me? And I was speaking to a client recently, and she was talking about something that she had coming up, and she said it's going to be really stressful. And I know that feeling myself, where you kind of really forecast that something is going to take a lot out of you. And I said, well, what if it was your last day on the planet? What would you choose then? And obviously you would choose to take every single second and savor it. And this is the thing, my love, we get to behave in a way that attunes us to the preciousness of life. And we get to create the energy of something. If we go into something and we are overwhelmed and stressed and telling a story that it's going to be awful and we're going to hate it, then we bring that 90% of the time. That's what's going to happen. But when we can open up to, okay, I'm here, let's see what's going to happen. There might be moments where things flare up, but you know what? I can definitely deal with it. I trust myself. Then it is something different. So I just really want you to know that, and really get intentional about how this holiday season, this winter season, can feel joyful for you. Okay, not anybody else, but you. What are the things that you love that would enhance it for you? And really tune into that. Okay, my love. So that is it. Those are the reminders. Get into your body. Rest. You have come so much further than you think. Stop comparing, my love. And create joy, delight, and pleasure. These are choices that you can make. I am going to see you in 2025. I hope you have the most beautiful holiday, and remember that you can bring in the energy. When we get in really in our heads, or when we're a little depleted or whatever it is, it's so easy to go back to default, but you get to really design something that feels good to you. And I hope you do. I would love to know what lands. I would love to know what you're bringing into your holiday season. So please feel free to comment right below, and I'll see you real soon. Thank you so much for being here and being you. If you're ready to dive deeper on your self-development journey, visit joannebell.org, where you can sign up to get even more magic, access incredible bonuses, and find out more about working with me.